Okay, dream journal. Entry 1. I was arrested for some reason. It was a traffic thing. I remember it was either because I pulled away from a stop sign too soon or I ran a red light. I mean, whatever it was minor. And I was arrested and I was being treated as though it was this major crime. Also, the police department appeared to be in disarray. There was like construction work going on. So they're keeping us all in this little room. It's like, when I say a little room, it's not a little room. It's like half the size, or a fourth the size an auditorium or something, like a gym room for a school. And they've got us sectioned off and they're waiting to process us and put us in jail. Meanwhile, the cop who had arrested me is like bringing in more people. And somehow through a window, I see that they're playing the new Star Wars movie across the street. Not necessarily across the street, but there's a mall about a half mile or so from the jail. And there's, the billboard, like the sign that shows you all the movies that's coming, that's like in the theater. And there's an arrow pointing to it saying, hey, X amount of time from here is where the movie is playing. And I decide that the best alternative for sitting here is to somehow escape through the construction, steal a cop car, and then go and watch this movie. So I'm making my way through the construction areas, right? And when I get to a point where there's like a dead end, but as I get there, a white girl is coming from the other way. And she's like, hey, can I get through this way? I was like, no, there's construction. You'll want to go back. She's like, oh, I don't want to go back. I want to go this way. I was like, no, this way leads to like the sales and stuff. You don't want to be here. This is the waiting area. So she's so okay. So I somehow squeezed through like some construction that's going on. And there's this long walk. There's a good, I want to say 200, 300 yards. Once I get down these broken steps, there's an exit that I know I can get out of. So I'm walking and it feels like it's taking forever to get down there. So finally, it's like, yeah, I don't know, like how when you run in a dream, you seem to run really slow. I felt like I was walking real slow, like somebody who was trying to escape, you know? So I finally get out, I push the door open, and I head out into this parking lot area, and this was my truck. I'm convinced that this was my truck. But what had happened is the police had taken my truck and put cop lights on top of my truck, and it looked like they were going to use it for like police work or something. So I peek in the window, and in the back seat, like there's a whole bunch of cop stuff. Like you can see the cop stuff is still in here, and the front seat is a mess. There's cushy wrappers all over the seats for some reason, which was weird. And in my mind, I think to myself, there's no time to clean this out or put this down. And even if I did go in the back and like unload all the stuff, my fingerprints would be all over this thing. And you know exactly who it was. So we're just gonna have to take it. So I start the car, it's a truck, and I pull out. And again, it seems to be insanely sluggish. Like I'm stepping down on the accelerator and it's like I'm just not going as fast as I feel like I should be. So I turn this corner and I make it out of the parking lot with no problem. With no problem. Like nobody stops me or anything. And I turn and go down the street and I'm headed towards the theater. Like, yeah, I'm gonna go to this theater. But as I'm driving towards the theater, it occurs to me, it's like, well, I don't really want to see this movie. I just want to go home. I've had a long day. So I'm trying just to get home. And I remember very distinctly being concerned about my fingerprints being on things. And I seem to remember having this concern about, because I figured my case would get dismissed, but I mean, there had to have been paperwork or something, but I was so sure that once I took the lights off the top of the car and I cleaned that whole car out, that it would have been fine because it was my truck. I remember feeling like it was mine, but my escape was just not going as quickly as I would hope. Um, I don't remember listening to the radio, and I just remember heading home. I don't think I ever made it home, but that was the goal, and I was trying like hard. I don't know if that means anything or I don't know. That's all of it. That's as much as I can remember.